right, so Joel and I are back with my good buddy Larry Fry. It is a beautiful morning here in South Louisiana. Got about a 3-knot wind. Supposed to build a little bit today, but it's not bad yet. Look at this sunrise. We're at the tail end of a falling tide here. Big blow this weekend. Water's a little bit chalked up, but hopefully once that tide turns around and starts rising, brings in some pretty water, and we can whack some speckled trout. That's the plan for today. Yeah, this water ain't the best, is it? 6 inches? 6 inches, right? I tend to exaggerate my inches. Joel said if we catch a flounder today, he'll give me $100. So that's my mission.
I might jump on that bet.
I didn't bet. He's just gonna give me $100.
Oh, okay. Well, I would bet you 100 we don't catch a flounder.
Well, yeah, I ain't taking that bet. If you give me like 100 to 1 odds, like make me put up $1 to win 100, and I'd do it. Yeah, this tide's dead here. On to spot number 2. Say when. Now?
Yeah.
That water's pretty messed up. It's gonna be the theme of the day. It's Joel's fault. Joel's bad luck. Isn't this where you caught him a few weeks ago?
Yeah. Might have to sit here and watch.
You wait for the tide to move, right? Just starting to rise.
Another red.
Is it?
Yep.
Yeah, you can come up.
No, it's not a trout. That is not a trout. Baby red.
You probably sit here and catch those all day. Definitely a little natty, isn't it?
Rather it being windy.
I agree. I'm not complaining. I think we need a mosey. There's a trout here. We would have screwed up and caught him by now.
This episode of Marsh Man Masson brought to you by Puglia Sporting Goods.
Man, you just bumped my line with your rod. Thought for sure I had a hit. There he is. There he is. Good trout. Good trout.
Pay attention to the way y'all fishing. Still got that shelf there.
Man, it's a good fish. Whew. Man, they're terrible today. Natty. Man, I'm glad I didn't wear shorts. I was going to.
Water's not right. You gotta wait.
Oh, there he is.
Gotta wait.
Come on in, baby. Come on in, baby. Come to Papa. There you go. He was not subtle.
You're gonna run right over. Guess that's better than 2,500.
Right, yeah, I'd rather that. Just go ahead and blow through, get out of here. Tide's starting to roll. What is that?
Good Lord.
Based on my recent history, it's probably an alligator. Have fun, Fry. That's a red. Or a drum, maybe. Let me know when you need help.
Net's under the console, please.
Net's under the console. Fish is like, so what? World class.
Now, would you rather fish with spinning gear the rest of your life for everything, or fish with a right-hand bait caster?
Spinning.
Spinning?
Yep. That's an easy choice.
You think?
Oh yeah.
You wouldn't be able to get used to the...
No. I'd rather not fish.
I still want to know why them bass fishermen cast and switch hands with
No, correct.
I
Right.
want somebody to
Explain that.
to me. Just explain that. What's the reason? Think about that. I mean, think about it.
Why does that make sense? Dude, how about you let the camera guy know?
Well, it was like only right
It
there.
was right here?
Yeah. On the boat.
There we go.
You don't need to come back here.
It's a good trout. Oh, you gotta release some seed stock.
Right. You can't catch them all.
We'll just act bored. There's a fish. I got a fish. Crap. He came off. Yeah, he came off. Smell the fish.
Let him go. Look, he's looking at you. Yeah, he's looking right at you.
Right on this side.
Man, they're good trout. Take that any day. Lost him again? Dude, you got barbs on those hooks? He turned around and looked back.
Yeah, I saw him.
Yep. Fish on. Get him fry. All right, there we go. Nice. Man, I'm gonna look like I had the measles. Get him fry. Good trout. There he is. There he is. Don't throw right there. That's not where they are. Look! Look! Look!
Dude,
Look at him. Look at that fish. He doesn't know he's free.
He don't know
What's going on?
You see that video of that guy who lost that bass?
Yeah, and he jumped in the freaking water.
This dude's fishing a bass tournament. He hooks his bass and he reels it in. He's about to, it's a nice bass. He's about to flip it in the boat and it comes off. So he goes in, jumps in. You don't know, like he's gone. And he comes up holding the fish, throws it into the boat. He's like, yes! Grab the fish. The fish is just kind of sitting there.
Is that legal?
I don't know. That's what I'm wondering. Like, can you leave your boat?
I say no way.
I say it's not.
Another one.
Get him fry. Get him fry.
I say illegal.
Yeah, I think it's illegal too. Get him, Joel. Nice. Is that pretty or what? Joel with the Carolina rig.
This episode of Marsh Man Masson brought to you by Matrix Shad, and by Fitzgerald Fishing, and by Cito New Orleans, and by Versamax Corks, and by Death Grip Jig Heads.
Oh,
This dude,
I was robbed.
I could have done anything.
I would have lost him anyway, so. Oh, goodness. I got popped twice on that cast. Missed them both. Finally. See if I can actually get him in the boat.
He's gonna throw it.
Way in. Dude, I was reeling almost.
You were.
Get out of his way. This fish.
Dude, that's a nice fish. Double.
All right, Fry. A nice double. Dude, these are chunks. All right, so this is about our 5th stop of the day. We didn't do much anywhere else, but the tide, we caught the tail end of the fall and the transition, and it just barely started rising. We couldn't find any fish. Water's really dirty everywhere we went. And we came to this area. It's an intersection of 2 bayous. Deep water here. There's an island that used to be located out here. And the water's coming through one of these bayous this way. It's coming through here, bumping up against that island, pushing up, and that's what those fish are using as a point of compression to feast on bait. And we're catching fish like crazy. Some really nice speckled trout as well. We've caught a few throwbacks, but we've also got some fish maybe up to 18, 19 inches, some really pretty trout. Now we're fishing a variety of ways. Larry is throwing a double rig. He's definitely got the hot hand. He's catching the most fish. He's fishing it pretty aggressively. Joel is throwing a Carolina rig, and I'm throwing a 3/8 ounce death grip jig head with a matrix shad. Larry's got a fish. Definitely not the prettiest one of the day, but he might make the team. Now this bite is good despite this dirty water. Seems like there's a lot of river water in here, but you know that river water tends to float, so there may be some prettier water down below. And the way these fish are hitting, I suspect that's definitely the case. Get him, Joel. Get him, Joel. Carolina rig. All right, so Joel is fishing for these speckled trout today using a Carolina rig. He does this all the time. I really hate this rig, but I gotta tell you, it's deadly effective. For him at least. He's kind of perfected the technique and it produces a whole lot of fish. So I'm gonna show you how he rigs this up, or at least he is. All right, Joel, what do you start with? What's your main line?
The main line, I use 17-pound mono. You can get away with 30-pound braid as well. Either one of those will work just fine. But basically all you do, start it like your regular Carolina rig. You're gonna put your egg weight on to your main line. Now right here I got a 1 ounce egg sinker. That's usually what I use just because it really allows you to get down to the bottom and high current with a lot of depth in the water as well. So I like that 1 ounce for most situations. And then right here I've just got a swivel. The size of the swivel doesn't really matter. You just want it to make sure it's not too small to where it's going to go through the eye of this weight. So just anything bigger than that is fine. And then to the other end of the swivel, just tie your main line right there. To the other end of your swivel, I've got my leader line anywhere from, I use 15-pound because if I do break off and get snagged, I still at least have the swivel and the egg weight that I can get back. So I like the 15 for that, just a little bit less than what your main line is. And I've probably got about 3 feet or so. This one's been cut a little bit, but I like about 3 to 3.5 foot of leader. You want a pretty long leader for this. And then the way I rig this is a little bit different. I actually use a treble hook. Now, in order to do this, you need to put the line through the bait. The easiest way to do that is just to tie on a regular J hook or a Kale hook, whatever you have in your boat, and you're gonna thread that on, and basically all that's gonna do is get the line through the bait. Once it's through the bait, you just clip the hook off, and then you're gonna tie on your proper hook, which is a number 6 treble hook. You wanna thread the line to where it's about halfway through the bait, about in the middle of the bait. That way you still got room for this tail to move around, so the hook's not interfering with that. And I find you get really good hookup ratio when you use this treble hook. You can also use a Kale hook and just rig it on there, but I find that this treble hook works a lot better.
And what do you feel like the advantage is to fishing this way?
I like this because basically you're getting a weightless presentation all the way down in 20, 15 foot of water, whatever depth of water you're fishing. With a jig head, you're getting that bait rocketing down back to the bottom. With this rig, you're getting this weightless effect. So all this sinker's doing is hitting the bottom, and then this bait is just trailing right behind it, flapping. That tail's flapping in the current, and the fish just gobble it up. Another great advantage to this rig is this is totally weightless, which means the fish have an extremely hard time throwing the bait. You get probably 95 to 98% of your bites are going to be in the boat because they're not going to be able to throw this treble hook. A lot of the fish get hooked very deep in the mouth, and that's a very good advantage to this rig.
And what's a bite feel like with this?
A bite feels like it's just going to be spongy. Occasionally you will feel it, but usually what happens is you'll pick up the weight and then the fish will be on there and it'll be spongy, and you set the hook and you got them.
There's a fish. There's a fish. Feels pretty nice. Are you gonna stay down like a red? You're gonna come up like a trout. What are you gonna do? Trout. All right. That's a chunk.
There he is. What you got there, Buster?
Carolina rig.
Trout.
Has he come up?
Nope. The hell came up. That might be a flounder.
Dude, I hope it's a flounder. I get $100.
Holy yeah, fuck you.
It's a flounder?
$100 out.
Get the net. I knew it. Dude, you gotta get the net.
Oh,
You don't ever flip a flounder.
you say get a net.
Was it an actual flounder?
Yeah, get my ass. You just said flounder. Nah, yeah, you owe him $100.
Yep, you owe me $100.
Hey, I didn't catch it, so.
I saw it.
Mr. Technicality.
Damn it.
I thought when he come up, I'm like, man, that fish looks flat.
All right, look, as far as fishing trips go, I've definitely had better, but the winds lately have been like a washing machine, blowing north one day, south the next, east, west, whatever, all over the place, and that has definitely beat up the water. But still, we put 45 speckled trout in the boat and some random fish, and actually even lost a flounder. Man, they have been just so rare in South Louisiana for the last 3 or 4 years. So I definitely call this a good, productive day. Well, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to the Marsh Man Masson channel on YouTube. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. And until next time, if we don't see you in the marsh, we'll see you right here on Marsh Man Masson.